Hello, everybody. This is Lou Adler. I'm 127 years old. I'm still here. Actually, I don't know. I think Lou Adler is still alive. I don't think he had anything to do with the Lovin' Spoonful, but that was about the time period. The Mamas and the Papas, Lovin' Spoonful, Young Rascals. It was like 66, 67. You know, it was like sort of bubblegum creeping into the psychedelic. It was folksy and corny. Lovin' Spoonful, you know, I always thought it was a bit cornball, and they kind of played up on that. And when I was younger in the 70s, I saw all these auto harps everywhere. I was like, why is it, you know, I figured there weren't enough church picnics in the world to justify all the auto harps I saw. And I always wondered, like, what does that mean when people like want to play the auto harp, you know? But then I began to, you know, learn about Lovin' Spoonful, and then you see John Sebastian desperately trying to play auto harp, you know, live. And on these Ed Sullivan tapes, there was some lip syncing, but also there was some live stuff I noticed. And he had a curly chord. There's probably a pickup, early kind of prototype of a pickup, put it into the auto harp and then through an amp. So he's like, you know, the chords playing and he's trying to do the auto harp and the chords and everything, but it works for what it's worth. And Val, you know, I learned that he was a little bit like the girls liked him because he was like very Harpo Marx-y and funny and, you know, handsome in a weird way and outrageous. And there's the cat. And the rest of the band were just goofy. And hi. What? You want to say something? You want to be in my movie or whatever the fuck I'm doing? So anyway, I have collected tapes and everything else. It's welcome to Grey Gardens. This is my Grey Gardens right here. You know, and you'll see some of that. I use that as sort of some footage in this video of my mess that I have to clean up. I have some cool stuff that, you know, I'm not, you know, most of this is I got free or for very cheap. I'm not a collector by, you know, going on eBay. I never bought anything on eBay. Everything's always been, you know, junk stores. I don't like that term. I think that's offensive. Spoken like a true hoarder or a collector. Junk stores, that term is offensive. I don't like that term. But I've collected a number of things. I like old, you know, projectors and movies and 8-track tapes and reel-to-reel. Well, this is reel-to-reel, and it's getting real. By the way, have you heard that alien spacecrafts are real and that they... yeah, I could have told you that like a long time ago, but that's another video. So anyway, this is the Lovin' Spoonful. Now, back in the day, before VCRs, consumer VCRs, and I'm going to guess consumer VCRs really started to hit in about 78. I remember the first commercial for a VCR. It had like a Dracula guy, and it was probably, I don't know, maybe it was Sony or something, but I think it was still at the point where we were trying to decide between Betamax and VHS. And they chose VHS. Who knows what the behind the scenes... I'm sure there's a video behind the scenes of the battle of the Betamax versus VHS wars, kind of like the Blu-ray versus the... I forget what the high definition. It was Blu-ray and high definition and Blu-ray high definition. They just went with Blu-ray, but high definition is a term. But I think that was the brand of high resolution... discs that they were trying to introduce to the world. But Blu-ray, whoever, I think that's Sony, they won out. But it was the same thing back then, was what I'm saying. VCR versus Betamax, or VHS versus Betamax. Now, VCR is something different. VCR is the actual player. Now, these kids, I'm telling you something that maybe some people are like, yeah, I know. But there's people who are younger who might be interested in this kind of topic, and perhaps this video, long after I'm gone, will survive somehow in some server, and people will go, what is a VCR? VCR is a video cassette recorder. those were introduced in about 1978, long story short, to the home use. And we got one in about 1981. It was a Sansui, and it popped up like, boop, boop. What am I talking about? Off topic. Talking about reel-to-reel tapes. Here I am giving you a history of VCRs. It must be the coffee talking. The coffee talk at Grey Gardens is unbelievable. I could have been something, but I'm not. I can identify. I was just watching that movie, by the way. If you don't know the movie Grey Gardens, please watch it, or just don't, but just whatever. So anyway, people used to tape off their televisions, audio tape. Take a microphone and dangle it or something by the speaker of their old TVs back in 1967. This, I believe, is from. And then just tape record the audio. Well, this audio, getting to the point. Get to the point, Chris. Don't bore us with the chorus or something. This audio tape was on a reel that I had collected from probably a junk store, excuse my language. And it has the Ed Sullivan Show. I believe it's the original broadcast is January 22nd, 1967. I don't know if they had reruns back then. I don't know when, but I believe that's when this was recorded. That's when they opened up with Nashville Cats. And there's also on this tape segments of a Batman episode. And I like Batman, and I kind of grew up with the reruns, but someone will be able to, some friggin' nerd will be able to say what episode that was. But I'm trying to pinpoint the date of this recording, and my guess is January 22nd, 1967, when some teenage person put a microphone up to the television to record Ed Sullivan. Now, the reason why I could have adjusted the sound. This sound is amazing. Okay, this is the sound that people are looking for. It's a television set from back in that time. There are station IDs. I don't think there are any commercials, but there's some interesting intros and station IDs that are probably, I have the only copy of those, maybe, I don't know. The Ed Sullivan shows themselves are obviously preserved, but is the banter before that preserved? I don't know. I looked online, and there's the performances, but is the Ed Sullivan? I can't do an Ed Sullivan impression. I'm sorry. I could do an Arthur Godfrey impression, and this is even before I was born, and I was born earlier. So I lost my train of thought, and then I thought, what else? What's going to help me get back on my train of thought? This is Naughty right here, and this is some weird elf. And unfortunately, that in the back seat is kind of a not so great depiction of the kind of a Sambo character, really all kind of awful. Anyway, this is a cool car. This was a Corgi. Yep, it's a Corgi that my mom bought me when I was little, and I still have it. Okay, welcome back to the Hoarders Show. On the line we have Chris. Chris? Yes, I'm a hoarder. Yes, how do you know that? Because I'm you, for Christ's sake. Shut up. All right, I'm going to piece this together somehow and make some kind of a video. I am wearing a sweatshirt because it is that cold here in the state of Maine. Here in the state of Maine, it's very cold. We have to put our heaters on in the summertime. It's June 10th, 2023, and we're all kind of giddy because that guy that we didn't like because he was a criminal, and always been a criminal since the 70s, and even before that probably just got in trouble, and we're like, yay, finally. But now I'm like, I don't think he's going to. And if anything, he'll go to Danbury and get to go to Stu Leonard's and whatever. So The Brady Bunch. I'm more of a Brady Bunch guy. I was born in 69. Okay, so I was born at a very early age. I stole that. Sorry. I also stole this hat. No, I didn't. I got it from, what's that store? Party City. It's like a whole city, and it's just like a big party. And amazingly, no one's getting shot at Party City because, well, actually, I shouldn't say that because there probably have been situations there. But Party City. Is it Party City or was it a Halloween store? Could have been a Halloween store, one of the pop-up Halloween stores like Spirit. Spirit? Is it Spirit of Halloween or just Spirit? I don't know, because there's a big difference. Could be like a bottle of alcohol or it could be a ghost. That's one of those words that has double meaning. I can barely tell the difference. So anyway, this will be used. This will end up on the editing floor. Something happened. I just got, what? Just got a message. People, UFOs are real. I knew that. I could have told you that. I could have told you that in 1976 when I saw Leonard Nimoy on television in search of. This is Grey Gardens. Excuse me, I have one of those colds that can't get rid of. I work in a nursing home and got another message. I don't know what's going on here, but we're getting messages in. Let me see. Let me check one here. I got a message here. We'll go check this. Chris, get to the fucking point. Introduce the video. All right. This is like a VJ. I'm like Nina Blackburn, or I forget, because I was in MTV. I'm old enough to know what MTV was. Back in those days, they used to play music. Well, nowadays, not so much. They just play people. And I don't know what they're saying, because it's the same goddamn thing all the time. It's called ridiculousness all the fucking time, 24 hours a day on MTV. It's like ridiculousness in itself is ridiculous that they would just fucking put on the same show. Like, people are just sitting there in a coma in front of their TVs, like, watching ridiculousness for 24 hours straight. I don't know if this is some form of torture, and I'm talking about my video right now, or is it just some kind of mind control? Is there something in Chantal's eyes that make us all go, oh, I will conform and consume and conform and consume and conform and consume and consume and conform and conform and consume and conform. Okay, get the message there? Yeah, I hope so. So we're gonna just, I guess the tape is still rolling. And I still say tape. I say tape is rolling. Is the tape rolling? There's no fucking tape. But in my case, there might be, because I have like tons of, I don't know, all kinds of stuff. Like this is a film. You know, like kids, this is film. This is like, but it's all white, because it's white people film. Just kidding. But that's kind of funny. Film and tape and other things. The formats, 78 records. I got tons of those. And like, I got one right here. And, things like that. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying someone's going to fucking have to clean this shit up after I die. But my wife always says it's going right to the fucking dumpster. The day you die. I've said that already, but I just said it again. So I always say, is this tape rolling? Is the tape rolling? There's no tape in this case, but I do have tape over here. Let me go talk about it for 20 minutes, like as a sidebar. Everything I do is a sidebar, because I go and I talk about one thing and it reminds me of another thing, and then I get off the beaten. It's like reading a book that is poorly written. I was reading this author. His last name was Lucas. He wrote a really good book about busing. But there's a coal mine, a book about coal strikes in the early 1900s, and it's just fucking thick. And I've been trying to read it for the past 25 years. And it was Robert Lucas, I think, and he unfortunately committed suicide. But his writing was very dense, and it was like the same kind of thing where he'd write about, the coal mine, and then he'd write about the coal owners, and then the owners traced their roots back to this country, and then they would talk about the other people from there, and then the Pinkertons, and what were the Pinkertons all about, and why are they still around, and what did they do, and all the deaths, and then, it's a very... thick way of writing and a thick way of living, and that's kind of like how I imagine or justify my flow. My flow is a little, but it's also like related to a topic that may remind me of something else that I have to tell you now because I'll just forget about it because the way I tell stories is a little off. Okay, and I'm the first person to tell you that. I just told you that. And, I'm also the first person to say, if you don't care, then I don't care. I like that. Not that sounds really bad, but if you don't care, I don't care means if you don't care about me or this channel or whatever I'm doing here or whatever I think I'm doing here, then I don't care. Which is like, it's okay that you don't like this. That's what I'm saying. If you said it in a particular way, it might come across differently. So if you said, what was I saying? Oh, yes. Hi, this is Lou Adler, and I'm here to talk to you. I'm not here to talk to you. I'm here to talk about. I'm not going to talk to you. I'm just going to talk. I'm here to talk about the Lovin' Spoonful. Now, what was the Lovin' Spoonful? Was it a spoon? Was it an actual spoon? I think I have a spoon over here. I do. Oh my God, this is like a hoarder. But at least I'm an organized hoarder where I'm like, oh, I know where that dead cat is. Oh, yes. Okay. I have that right here. The encyclopedia with all the mold on it. Yeah, I've got that right here. Yeah. But it's an encyclopedia, so this is a spoon right here. And by the way I'm acting, you might have thought that I have put something in it, but no, this is my baby spoon. I was born with a baby spoon in my mouth. It's silver, but it's been tarnished. So that'll tell you a little bit of something there. And this has my initials on it, I believe. And I'll show you that up close there. See that? Looks like someone trying to use it to cook some drugs or something, but I didn't. I swear to God, I never did that. That's tarnish. Okay, that's not soot. That's tarnish. But this is my baby spoon. And I honestly, other than cooking drugs in here, what else would you use this for? Why do I still have this? I think I was going to try to make a guitar pick out of this, which would be kind of... Or maybe a slide. I can use it for a slide like that, maybe, and then who knows. But anyway, did you know that the Lovin' Spoonful, when they talked about the name of their band, they were talking about spoons full of sugar, and they were gonna like lovingly feed the audience, which was mostly teenage girls, spoonfuls of sugar. I don't know. That sounds a little off. I mean, everything from the 60s is a little off, to be honest with you, today compared to today. If you took the 1960s and put them in 2023, you would you'd be pretty cool, because that's not something that I don't think people can do. I don't know. Maybe they can now. Now that they found the UFOs. That's right, people. Wake up. Yeah, I know. I already knew about those. And yeah. So what's next? Are they going to try to dismantle the religious economic system that we live under? Because, well, it might be ugly, but I'm not saying it's not a bad idea. It depends on how you implement it, though. It's like, first, we'll let the people just decide whether or not it makes sense to still believe in a loving God with long blonde hair and blue eyes who lived in the middle of the desert. Or the other one, and I can't make fun of too many of them because I don't want to get in trouble, but like the ones that have a lot of arms. Sorry, I know, but you see, that's the thing, is like you start thinking about religion, and we're all taught that we have to respect all religions and all beliefs except for yours. So okay, and I understand if you want to believe that Virgin Mary had porcelain white skin if she was alive, and she had blue eyes, and she was like, oh, I never had any more children, never had sex ever again. I don't know. The whole thing is just, can we start stripping that away? And I had mentioned that at Christmas time, and I wasn't trying to be a jerk, but these ideas and the stories. I mean, you're listening to the stories and you're going, oh, did that happen? Because that sounds a little off. And why hasn't it happened since? And it seems like there's a kernel of truth to every sort of scripture for a lot of these cultures and the like, that there's some kind of biblical flood that's also mentioned in this and then that maybe some of these stories are parables or like fables that are just kind of passed along like stories. That's how we developed a communal sense about everyone is telling stories and then including everybody, and those stories get passed on, and then that's how generations, and then the story changes a little bit, just enough to say, now which part of this story is true and which part of this is you? And then you think, well, yeah, you're right. I mean, any story. I have the original stories about Little Red Riding Hood. Stories about, like, what do they call those? Like the not nursery rhymes, but they're a lot darker, and everyone knows that. They're a lot darker than what was, just like the Disney movies, like those stories are old, like Cinderella, but they were real dark, and then they just kind of Disneyfied them, and then pretty soon. Now, that's how easy it is to manipulate fiction, all right? You think that maybe the people have some inclination about how to fictionalize nonfiction? Can you fictionalize nonfiction or manipulate nonfiction? That's where history, and that's why I'm concerned about history kind of things, that folks are going to repeat the same mistakes they made, or history is going to repeat itself, or I'm just going to repeat myself, or I don't know, but it's just, what I'm saying, it's the same old goddamn thing every day. So let's dismantle it. Start new traditions. By the way, I'm just doing this as a goof because I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos, and people are like, podcaster, I'm a podcaster. Yeah, I'm not just a dick in my basement. I'm a podcaster. Okay, hey, what are you going to podcast next? Your mom's recipe for... See, I was not going to go there. Your mom's recipe for meatloaf? Okay, well, then I kind of went there because meatloaf, what do you that's just one of those funny words, meatloaf. I mean, yeah, he was a singer, and actually he was like a singer, Meatloaf, and an actor, and he was big. I don't know, were you supposed to say that now? Can another man make fun of a fat man? Can a fat man make fun of another fat man? I don't know. Am I fat enough, though? That's the whole problem. Is that if you make fat jokes and you say, well, I'm just making fat jokes because I'm fat, ha ha ha, people can be like, what's your body weight index thing? And then I'd be like, well, BMI, is it BMI or is it ASCAP? I don't know. But you're not fat enough, sir. You cannot make fat jokes. And I could say, well, yeah, I guess you're right, technically, but I can make dick jokes because you're a dick. And that's about the sum of these apples. Now, I'm going to try to pull out the talk about the Lovin' Spoonful on this podcast. This is a podcast. Because I have a hat on. Oh, it's very like Walter Winchell. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Shut the fuck up. That's probably distorted because I got too close to the mic. But my mic is now like I knew I was popping some peas, and I didn't want to put one of those big fucking things you get at Staples for podcasts. You know, it's like a friggin' pantyhose thing, and it's like hangs up here, and it blocks your beautiful pale skin. So I used a sock. And there's the cat again. What the fuck do you want? What? Really? I'm doing a podcast here. I'm not doing a pawcast. Oh my god. I'm just glad this is on tape and not just out loud in my basement, because at least now I have an excuse. Why is Dad talking to himself? Oh, he's doing a podcast. Oh. That's different. He's not crazy. He's just crazy. Yeah, so this is a good idea to try to do this. You know, I like the look here. This hat is stupid, but it's, you know, kind of works. You can go like a couple different ways. You can be like, hey, welcome to this podcast, or a padcast, or it's a pot of butter, or a pat of butter. I'm sorry. What's a pot of butter? A pot of butter would be like a pot with butter in it. A pat of butter is just a little piece of square that you put on your toast. And toast is what you make from bread. And bread is what you make if you know what you're doing. And if you don't, welcome to the club. Yeah, I'm doing YouTube motivational videos and on like how to like monetize your podcast, or monetize your podcast. Yeah, monetize your podcast. Yeah. That's the little thing you put in the dishwasher, and you click it shut, and then you make sure you got your hot water feed on, so that the dishwasher gets hot water, because you need hot water when you do the dishes. I don't care what you say, and people have said to me, oh, you can use cold water. Cold water is more environmentally conscious because it's, you don't have to heat the water. And I said, it doesn't matter because we're all going to die, so why don't you just shut the fuck up? And then so the next part of that is the hot water in the dishwasher cleans the plates, and you need to get the food off the fucking plate first. Don't put plates in the dishwasher with food on them, okay? Because that's just going to get caught in the drain. The water's not going to be able to drain, after the rinse cycle, or whatever the fuck it's called. There's the same lingo for washing machines and dishwashers. Rinse cycle. Is that like you guys both agree that's something we can agree about? Okay. Rinse cycles. And then I got tomorrow's show, we have the dehumidifier versus the humidifier. I know you saw that little bit on The Onion back in 2002, but I wrote that and I submitted it to The Onion, and they summarily rejected it. And if I knew what that meant, I'd probably be a lot more angry than I was, because I just basically took it and I decided that I was going to try to do my own thing. And when I say my own thing, I mean something that no one else likes. And, that's kind of hard. It's a little bit of a journey into the unknown, off a cliff at night. And I took that journey because otherwise, what's the alternative? Is it alternative? Do I have a choice? Can I use another word besides alternative? Is there another word for alternative? That's a very good question. Pontificating. I'm going to take a pontificating break. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. I have no idea what I'm doing right now. I was going to introduce a video, but I decided to use this time when the wife and the kid are at Walmart picking up the groceries. That's right. They were going to stop at the dollar store, but they don't like Family Dollar. They like Dollar Tree. And I fucking hate Dollar Tree. You know why I hate Dollar Tree? Because there's carpet on the floor of the store. And it's that kind of carpet that's like, ew. And, you know, you get a little piece of paper. You know, say you punch holes in, you know, your planogram, you're putting it in your thing to do the, you know, redo the fucking paper plate section because Bob the Builder, nobody gives a fuck about now, so they got to switch out Bob the Builder for some other new, stupid, probably made in Chinese prison cartoon. Maybe it's not made in Chinese prison, but you just think, well, I hope it's not. But I'm going to watch it anyway. And then you do, and you realize that it's not what you thought it was going to be. It's never what you thought it was going to be. By the way, if you haven't, if you don't know this is a podcast, and I decided that wearing a hat like this and putting a microphone with a sock on it in front of my, or to the side of my face would somehow make it better. You know, I stopped drinking like 2 months ago, and like otherwise I would take up my time by doing something that was going to make me have hemorrhoids. So that's one of the main reasons why I quit, because at 54 you go, okay, well I've had my cocktails, so I've had a lot, and maybe I just had like just boop, that's okay, done. And I was like, okay, well maybe I'll go back to it, unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know. I have to look at it that way. What do you say? I don't know. But it's the first time that I feel speechless because I'm hopeless. So I have to devote myself to God. Open yourself up. And, you know, oh, I give up. I will just obey and whatever. Nothing. Positive thinking shit that's like on a bumper sticker. But like with these and thous in front of it to make it sound like it's authentically ridiculous, which is what it is, because after a while we've got hundreds of years of this system that does nothing but separates people from their money and separates people from other people. And to be honest with you, I don't think that's a good idea. I think religion is very divisive, in that there are devices that are used in religion. And, well, I'm just not going to talk about those, even though there's probably nothing dirty about it. I like to talk like that to make it sound like there's something dirty about it, so that people go, wow, he's edgy, but he just keeps right on that line. He's just balancing on that line between edgy and corny dad. He's balancing on the line between edgy and corny dad. Oh my God, he's going corny dad. No, he's not. That's why he's talking to you right now. So, what do? Edgy or corny dad? How about edgy, corny dad? How about cannabis dad? No, basement dad. Oh, I should do basement dad. Basement dad. Let's see if I can do basement dad. Hi, I'm doing a podcast, and I'm older, but I'm trying to do like a faux hawk so I appear younger, so my ideas maybe seem fresh, even though they're not, because the children that I'm talking to are actually probably smarter than me. But anyway, you have to listen to me because I'm earnest and I talk very slowly so that my viewers overseas can understand what I'm talking about, even if they've only had 2 lessons. And those 2 lessons are up to you. You can choose among many of the programs that we have here offered at the Hoarders Institute for Music. That's how we started on this conversation. We were talking about the Love and Spoonful. And they walk the line. You know, here I am talking about my comedy, you know, stylings, and then it brings me back to what original I was talking about, which was music and the Love and Spoonful on the Ed Sullivan Show. These people walked the line between corny, folky things, and then they were kind of weird. Okay, so weird. Well, you know, not psychedelic. They were just weird and awkward and nerdy and whatever. And that's to me, Val, I don't know what his background is, but he's not like overtly completely Caucasian. So he had ethnic roots, and he was like, and it was I should look that up. I just didn't do that. I'm very poorly prepared for this video about Love and Spoonful, just because I want to learn as you're learning, and we can go along together and hold hands and skip down YouTube lane. And YouTube lane was blocked off at one point. It was right after COVID, which is, by the way, is still going on. I know, it's ridiculous. Anyway. And YouTube Road was blocked off because an alien spacecraft that looked like an acorn crashed in a field. Because it always crashes in a fucking field, Why doesn't it crash like in the road, like where people can go, instead of getting in the woods? So that people have to go into the woods, and then you have to send the military and the Air Force into the woods, and NASA and the CIA and whatever, I don't know. But it seems like those secrets are kind of draining, away, and we're starting to learn a little bit more about what's going on. I like the idea of the UFOs crashing in the woods, and then people having to go trek into the woods to look at it, first of all, and then back out of the woods to the police station. You never guess what I saw. And then they send, the agencies and NASA and the CIA and the FBI and the, I forget what the other... Oh, the police. Regular police. Hi, I'm just regular police. Imagine showing up to that. Like, you got, like, military, and you got, like, the FBI and all these people, the CIA, and it's a UFO crash. And then you're just, like, the regular police officer, and like, from the town, and the town's like, and, like, this town. And you come up to the crash site, and you go, oh, it looks like you boys having it pretty good. I'm just the police. I'm just the little police in the area. Hi, this is just my town, and you're in it, and you're going to treat me like... So I think that'd be funny. That would be a good character to do, like in a one-man play. Do a one-man play. My hearing is going. I'm sorry. My hearing is going. What's it going? I hear it in my ear right now. That's a great thing about being an ear, that if you want to talk to your host, all you have to do is do that, and you're already there because you're an ear, and you can... Okay. So what I was saying was that if you're an ear and you want to talk to the person you're attached to, you don't have to go very far. Okay. And if I have to explain something like that to you, then I'm not sure that this is the right program. I think you should turn the dial all the way to the right until you snap off the fucking knob, because that's what you're trying to do. That sounds like I said something very overtly political, but it's inadvertently political, which is kind of like overtly, but it sounds like the same kind of word, but it's not, and it has nothing to do with the meanings of anything that I've just talked about. And if you think I'm speaking doublespeak, then I got two words for you. Speak. I'm going to use that one for a birthday card. That take, maybe I should do another take of that. Oh, how's my hair looking? Do I look young enough? I don't know. I think I'm showing my age, especially in my eyes. Maybe I should get some sunglasses. Oh, this doesn't work. Oh, okay, this over here, because I'm a hoarder. It's basically a Elvis chicken, rubber chicken. And which is no big deal, but he broke. So this is the head of the broken chicken, apparently. But I was going to talk to you about rubber chickens. This is a good opportunity. if you do have rubber chickens, they do crack, and like the material that these rubber chickens are made out of, let me just tell you, it's not great, okay? And I'm not going to tell you how rubber chickens are made, but if you have the time, definitely Google it. It's pretty disgusting. All right, and I don't get into that. What I'm saying is that if you do have a rubber chicken or a rubber chicken collection, you need to moisturize them, otherwise it'll crack and they'll break and they're brittle. And you guys know I had an autographed rubber chicken from Preacher Jack, one of my all-time favorite friends and family, and piano player and just person. Definitely a member of the Freak, had his Freak flag going there. He was yeah. So I had a rubber chicken that he signed, and I let it go, and he signed my name wrong. My name is spelled Chris, and he spelled it Cris. And I've had a couple people spell it that way, but Cris is just not how you spell Chris, and I have no idea why my name's not pronounced Shhhhh, but my name is Chris. So I've never heard anyone do that, but I think it would be funny if I started to pronounce my name Shhhhh. And then when someone says, "Oh, hi, Chris, could you, that my name is Shhhhh," because CH, okay, choo-choo, let's see, choo-choo train, CH, that would be in the front of Chris. CH is like ch, and then RIS, RIS. So from now on, if you want to subscribe to my channel, my name is Triss. Now that sounds like Triss, Triss, and I don't know if I like that because it sounds a little bit like piss. Oh my God, my name rhymes with piss. I did not realize that. Actually, I knew that. That was like the first thing I knew. All right, that's about all the time we have today. We'll see you tomorrow on the next whatever.